Hello and welcome to Understanding Narcissists. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to talk about why you are so strong. Why you are strong. A strong person. Someone who can lead, someone who can make decisions, someone who can weigh costs and benefits with each of your decisions. Someone who has great executive functions, right? You're able to control yourself. You're able to assess things so well. And why you may not know it. Why you may not know this is the case. This is not a pep talk. I am not a motivational speaker. Some people may describe me as a positive person. And maybe I am to a fault. But I would contest that. I think this is a practical thing. I think it's an empirical thing. It's real. This is not just something regarding your mindset or your attitude. Though that's really important too. That helps. But there's strength in your actions, in your decision making. And they empower you further because you're moving, you're making progress. When you deal with a narcissist, in any capacity, they are always testing what kind of person you are and how you handle pressure, how you make or don't make difficult decisions. Why? It is because of necessity, because they can't do it. So they have to find people who can. You. You have to be strong for them. But the hiccup is you have to not know it, you have to not believe it, you have to be scared yourself. It has to be inconceivable to you. And so you have to be good-hearted in the same way, right? They may view you as vulnerable or naive, but they really know that you're strong, that you can love. Even though that's not something they're interested in, they need you to be like that so they can manipulate you. It is a necessary condition. So you have to be strong for the narcissist. But you also have to be strong for yourself because of your background. I am almost certain that if you look back on your life, you will discover or at least acknowledge, that you overcame things that you did not believe you could. You adapted to challenges and overcame them and found out how to solve problems and do things that were seemingly impossible beforehand, and you would have people close to you who would vouch for you in the same way, right? They would support you in you being strong as an assessment, as to describe you as a characteristic. That doesn't mean that you know everything or realize everything, that you can easily solve everything that comes your way, or that you have always been effective and efficient in overcoming your personal challenges and life struggles. It just means that you have made mistakes and you've adapted to them, that you've learned from them, that you've capitalized on them, right, and turned them into advantages. That's what that means. And that means everything. It means everything to the narcissist. And another part of strength would be humility, which you might confuse with your emotional desire to not assess yourself as a strong person. Do not think of yourself in that way, but you should. Because that very thing that you can sort of beat yourself up with, that you can allow the narcissist to hurt you with, that insecurity or that constant doubt about yourself and what you can do, is in many ways a sign of true strength. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. It's not. Because you don't want to be vulnerable in that way. You may be fearful or scared at the idea that you are strong, because it's a difficult thing to comprehend in a way. It's difficult to be strong all the time when you aren't brought up realizing it's okay, when you have to reach that conclusion yourself through experience and then adopt that behavior. It's very difficult. And the narcissist doesn't want you to adopt that behavior, because the very thing that they need, when it is fulfilled, your strength, will be used against them. And they know it. They know there's something wrong with them. That's what they're afraid of. And you're going to realize it and act on it. You probably already realize it now. You already know it in your gut. But this constant conflict of trying to keep you down while also relying on your own strength and decision-making prowess and will to get things done, which they do not have. They have to ride you into that. You are a vehicle to things that they might like to do, that they are otherwise terrified of and they would never be able to do. That's the point that I'm going around and around trying to reach, to describe this elusive and hard to define thing called strength. On the one hand, it's very concrete in behavior, but it's elusive in that it's hard to see. It's not just somebody who schedules well. It's not just somebody who's punctual or assertive. That's not what strength is. Strength is perseverance. It's not absolute confidence at all times. Right? It is adaptation. It is learning. And you will continue to learn and grow as a person. And that's a problem for the narcissist and the other people in your life who want to control you and destroy you, of which there may be many, because on the other side of that strength is that undermining of yourself that you continually and self-destructively tap into. Not trying to judge you. I do it too. This is why I'm talking about this. It's because I do it, and then I see too many people do it and come to me about it and ask me about it. And unfortunately, now we get to the point where you're going to be wondering, well, how do I get over this? And I don't know, because it's always nagging. There are pivotal moments and decisions that you make where you ascend and you grow and you get better at it, but it's always nagging there, right? And it's always a battle between being reasonably humble or being filled with self-doubt, and it's so hard to discern the two, because you'll always be imperfect and you could always make the wrong decision at any time, and it could possibly be catastrophic. Most of the time it isn't, right? Leaving the narcissist is not in itself ever a bad thing, except if they can become dangerous. It's possible you're not ready for it, but you won't leave until you are ready for it. So I'm not so much worried about that. A lot of the things you're worried about are not something to be concerned about. But not realizing your own strength, your true strength and abilities, is one of the worst mistakes you can make. And it's frustrating because I don't have a simple answer. I will say one thing, that your emotions and your intuition always have to be working. But they have to be working for you. They can't operate under the narcissist's paradigm of fear, which is what the narcissist does. They live in fear, and it's not something that they're always aware of. Part of a relationship or friendship with them is always going to be them siphoning their fear onto you. You have to adopt it because they're scared. It's not just because they used to manipulate you. It's a 1-2. It's two things. They're killing two birds with one stone. They got to make you fearful because it helps you to fall under them, to fall in line and be manipulated. But the first priority is that they need to get that fear out of them because they can't bear it. But you can because you're strong. They need to get rid of it. They need you to bear it and handle it and carry it around. People with baggage like that can't drop the baggage. They can't get over it. They ignore it. But they're still dragging it around everywhere with them. That's the problem, is they don't acknowledge it. So when you don't acknowledge something, it stays with you forever. And that's what's going on. They're handing it off to you. And they have to because they're so scared. Do not operate under their paradigm of fear, their lifestyle of fear. It's a thought process. It's an infection of a sort. And it gets worse. It self-perpetuates, self-reinforces to a point. And that is something where, because you are necessarily strong, you are. They sought you out, in a sense. They found you. And when they desire and value someone, I can't believe I'm using those words, they don't really desire or value, but because they need you so much, that is a statement. That is a testament to your strength and your ability to get away from them and live your own life. Not a testament to how much they love you, but it can be, because they don't love, it can be a testament to how powerful you are as a person. And that's how you should take it. There's always that fear that you'll leave, and that's because they know you can. They know you can, and you will leave them, and you won't deal with them. And that includes anybody, honestly, who keeps you down, who beats you down, and particularly the ones who like to use you against yourself, because they're afraid of how strong you are, and you need to realize that and work on that part, not getting wrapped up in everything they throw at you to keep you distracted from that, but what you can do for yourself and owning your emotions and keeping them in line, not acting on your own fear, but feeling it. That's when it's strong. Sometimes you have to act on it given the situation. There's a rational side to it, of course. A logical framework you need to abide by, but what directs you and your gut feeling, especially in your dealings with people, is all going to be emotions. Yes, derived from behavior and communication, but you're going to feel it. Okay, you're not going to parse the language of what somebody said by the technical words they used and the order for the most part. Okay, it's about what you've absorbed in the communication. And I've said that before. And I'm saying it again, even though I know I repeat myself a great deal. And that's what I want you to grab onto and keep a hold of. I think that's the kernel, the real thing that I don't talk about enough, is your own strength and getting not in touch with it, but implementing it. And not even being aware of it, but having it in your hands to use. It's kind of a clumsy metaphor because it's in you, it's a part of you anyway, but it's definitely a feeling that is brought about by mindset and a thinking about it. But it's definitely emotional, and it's definitely something that exists that in a way you've been giving away to the narcissist as your own baggage, as your own part of yourself that they take, but it doesn't belong to them because it's yours, and that's why they need you. That's why they're so dependent on you, is because it's yours, and you need to stop giving it away. Because it belongs to you, your decision-making, your independence, and your ability to make good decisions for you and your loved ones. I've talked too long. I hope you like this video. Like it if you do. Share it with somebody you think might also like it and benefit from it. Comment in the comment section below, particularly about how to find your own strength. It's almost an ethereal thing. You feel it when you have it, and there are moments when it rises when you need it and you can tap into it, but it's hard to keep it around, I find, when you're involved with narcissists, because they take it. That's really what they're taking from you, is your ability to be a strong human being. And it's just ultimately frustrating. And what are the different ways that you find it? Yes, there are experiences you don't control, but there's also choices that you make that allow you to do so and become strong. And I understand it wavers. You have fears and things take over. But ultimately, when you're pushed against the wall, you will be strong and you will make the right decisions. Not in entirety. That's a bit of a inaccurate statement I just made. But you approximate to the thing you're striving for, the goal, the result, whatever it is. And I'm going to argue that it's probably mostly good, even though the narcissist would have you think otherwise. You have that strength in assessing yourself and trying to do the right thing, as cliche as that may be. So tell me about that. Tell others about that, what you'd like to share. I would find it interesting. I think others would find it interesting. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. It's something that is not just mindset. This is not something that's just mindset oriented or attitudinal. What am I saying?